this brings me to now my points. Moramire, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ann-Adeva and I am black. Today we are going to be talking about something that I noticed like a long time ago. I've just not been saying anything because I was just like, what can I say? But if you haven't heard, I'm just going to give you like the gist of the story because a lot of it is hearsay and a lot of it is like alleged news. And I don't know the people personally involved in this situation, but of course this situation has sparked conversation around other things. So to start off with, if you don't know what Amos Day Club is like a day club, right? So they host day events for people to come and chill. The nice thing about Amos Day that I like, that sets it apart from other Namibian events, is the fact that it collaborates with a lot of artists and a lot of creators. Like, creators get free content passes, they get to make reels, they get to basically work with everybody on the Amos team, and they produce like art apart from just like going somewhere to party for the day. You know, so people also like this concept because you get to go out for the day, you get to be in bed by like 9-10 p.m. You had a fun night out and that's a wrap, you know? So that's also what is appealing about the Amos Day Club concept. Weeks ago, I don't know how many weeks, but weeks ago, it was a Simply You magazine, or Simply You fashion magazine, whatever. Simply You awards where like people in the entertainment industry were winning awards. So this event is hosted, I think annually, I'm not sure, but because I didn't hear of it last year. But anyways, they host this event and people get to like vote for their favorite entertainer and these people win awards basically. So one of the winners was Devitchi. I don't know if, am I even saying his name right? Yeah, I'm so out of touch with this kind of hooters. I cannot keep any. But this person is a photographer at the Amos Day Club, right? A photographer, videographer. And they had won an award. Okay, he won an award for I don't know what. I'll put the specifics on the screen somewhere. So he had won an award, and that is where the whole drama started. So when he won his award, people were obviously like giving live, feedback or whatever about who's winning the prizes and what is being won in. So people saw like he won an award, and then someone replied to him winning an award, quote unquote. So rappers keep winning, something like that. I'll put the screenshots here. So that's what the person replied to the tweet. She continued to do a whole thread of how this winner, Devitchi, had allegedly raped her 4 years ago. So 4 years ago, she said this guy had done this really vile thing to her, and she just hasn't spoken about it for 4 years. She's over everything, but she just feels like the fact that Amos Day Club still endorses him as like their photographer and videographer reflects really poorly on the event, because they should have like had her back and made sure that it's a safe space for everyone, whether employee, team member, cast member, attendee, whatever. Okay, so that's where the whole debacle started. So now everyone is replying, how wow, sisi, like, why did you wait all this time? Now that you saw that he's winning an award, you're coming in and you're saying this. You know, people are basically just trying to be like, it's giving, there's something behind this, it's giving something is between the lines, it's giving, this is not the full story type shit. So she basically gives details. She says how everything happened, how Amos Day allegedly handled the situation, alles, okay? But people were still not satisfied with her coming out. Not only does this lady come out, she comes out with other people. No diskumba di stand by they say no, #me too. So the gag is now, this guy is now being accused of having done this to other people, not only to her. So then Amos Day is like, yo ha, adidanga right no danga. Let's release a press statement. So this is the press statement that Amos Day released. The gist of the press statement is basically them just saying that they've become aware or they've been enlightened by the situation. And therefore, as a result, they would like to distance themselves from this accuser. And he is with immediate effect removed as a photographer, videographer of Amos Day Club. All right. I'm glad we are on the same page. People, including me, felt like this statement was insincere, okay? For me, the statement just seemed like damage control. It just seemed like kom ons maak hierdie story laat die weggaan, because we don't want to lose our sponsors. We don't want people not to come to our upcoming event, which is taking place in, I think it's December, or is it November? Weiß ich nicht. But yeah, our upcoming event. And we don't want to lose the money, okay? Because we need the money. We can't have people like getting refunds, or even we can't have nobody showing up to our event, even if they like can't sell their tickets again. People start saying like, yeah, this is just not right. Like the lady jealous and the fact that you knew for a whole year that this happened to someone who was also part of the MSD Club organizing committee, or not organizing committee, but from the inner circle of MSD, the fact that you guys just did a story for a year, it just doesn't seem like you guys really care about what happened to this person. And this brings me to now my points. I feel like Namibian society or Namibian community is way too comfortable with harassment, sexual assault, rape, everything. It's way too comfortable. It's way too lax when it comes to these issues. Like we are not really like the way that we treat stock theft or theft of animals. It's not at the same level that we treat like human lives being affected by things like this, right? And for me also, the statement just seems like we want to just cover our tracks. We want to just make sure that from our side, we did what we thought was right. They also mentioned the alleged victim's name in the statement, which also for me was like question marky, like, hoekom sal julle my naam daar sit? Het ek gesê ek wil hê julle moet my naam daar sit. Yesterday, I got other screenshots again from this person, the alleged victim. She posted screenshots of conversations or interactions that she had with MSD regarding the situation, and before they released a statement, they had also contacted her, and she said, I feel like the statement is not really like it's not really like
when do it becomes,
it's not really picking a side, so to say, and it's not really sounding sincere/genuine. I feel like there should be some modifications made to the statement. And they said if we fix the statement, or if you make your edits to the statement, then it will no longer be an authentic MSD statement, right? It will become void of being an MSD statement. No, made chat as from the screenshots also, I'm not really gathering that she was assaulted, right? I'm also just hearing and seeing, all right? So I don't know the people. If I could, I would invite them on my platform to talk for themselves, but I don't know the people. But my chat is just when it comes to Namibian nightlife or just Namibian entertainment in general, on this like with like people assaulting people, with people being inappropriate, with everything, like we are very comfortable with it. And as someone who's experienced it multiple times firsthand, let me tell you, first thing that I experienced was like going out at night at the clubs was when I went out with a friend of mine in university, and one of the girls had said like, oh my gosh, that guy just undressed me with his eyes. For the other girl to go, yeah, but you came to the club, like what do you expect? This is what happens when you come to the club at like on the weekends at nights, right? So already that is setting the precedent that like if you go out at night, you should expect to be mistreated or to be assaulted or to be violated. Like you should expect it because that's the climate of going out at night. The second thing that happened was when I was with my ex-boyfriend, we went to Chopsies. I remember this day so vividly. We were walking from Chopsies, we were walking home, and there was a guy who was walking into Chopsies. This guy turned around and he literally smacked my partner. He smacked it so hard and grabbed like a handful of my cheek, right? And I was with my boyfriend at the time. I literally, like instinct, turned around to go and fight this guy or tell the bouncers to call the police or something, because this man just like assaulted me and he started to from next Hamaki. For my boyfriend to go, you know what, babe, let's just let it go. Let's go home. Like, let's just not start drama right now. This person called me being assaulted drama. We went home. There was nothing I could do because this guy was also way bigger than me. And the bouncers just let him in. Because I told the bouncers what happened. They just let him in. They didn't even do anything. So I just went home. The whole night, like, I felt so bad. I think I even went to cry myself to sleep. And this guy didn't care. He was just like, babe, are you really gonna like be mad about this? Because it's so normal. It's so normal for things like that to happen. And it's so normal for everyone else to just be like, yeah, man, you came to the club. What were you expecting? If you didn't want that to happen to you, you were supposed to stay home. That's what the Namibian mentality is. Or that's the message that I get every time those things happen to me. The next time was when, after that, no, before that incident, like many years ago, I was even about to forget about the story, but I was in the hostel, ne? If you don't know, HTS and Academia, they share a hostel, so it's on the HTS premises, and at the HTS hostel, that's where I used to stay, like my final year of high school. And that final year of high school, we had like block time, so is it block time? Yeah, where you guys don't have classes, like you get excused from school a few weeks before your exams to give you guys the opportunity to study, like to do nothing else but study. So during this block time, we went, like we were allowed to stay at the hostel, but we were supposed to be in the study room. So like, even though it's block time, the hours that other kids are at school, you guys are supposed to be in the study hall studying. But we were taught grade 12s, we didn't really all wake up like early because we would also study until like late night. So yeah, anyways, I went to take a shower because I was supposed to go run errands or something for my mom. I don't remember. So as I'm taking a shower, I could hear there was this guy that used to clean at the hostel. I forgot his name. But there was this man that used to clean at the hostel, and I could hear him whistling down the hall. And I knew that it was him because he used to whistle, and like, yeah, you just knew that this man used to whistle. So I could hear him coming down the hall towards the bathroom. So I opened the water like really loud, ne? So that you could hear that there's someone in the shower. I opened the water really, really loud. I hear him coming inside the bathroom. So my towels and everything were like on the basin. So it's like the shower cubicles this side, and then the basins are here. So for me to go there, like you would see me naked. So I'm opening the water like to show this person like, hey, does Iman any shower, like announce yourself or something, you're coming into the girls' bathroom. The man never announced himself. He came, he literally walked like around the sinks like this. Then he stopped at the corner, and I was here in the cubicle, and he saw me, and he didn't look away. He didn't do like the, oh, Ombidi, nothing. He just saw me there, and then I like covered myself and I looked at him like, and then he left, right? When he left, I took my stuff, I got ready, I went to my mom's office, and I told my mom that like, yeah, this guy just peeped at me in the shower. Like, can you please come and talk to him? No, like, what am I supposed to do? That's what I asked her. Then she said, no, you should go tell the principal of the hostel or whoever it was. So I went back to the hostel, and then I told the principal like, yeah, this guy peeped at me in the shower today, blah, blah, blah. Then the hostel person asked me like, but were you not supposed to be in the study hall? Like, why were you there anyways? I'm like, so because I wasn't supposed to be in the shower, it's okay that this guy peeped at me or what? And he's a grown old man. That time I'm like 16, 17. What the heck? So then he tells me that I must go to the hostel matron. I think it was Ms. Tienkam that time. If you guys remember Ms. Tienkam. Also shout out to you, Ms. Tienkam. So he told me to go to Ms. Tienkam, and then Ms. Tienkam told me to write an incident report. So I was supposed to write a report recounting what happened. Because he asked me, first he interrogated me, like he asked me questions. What happened? What was the time of the day? What was I looking like? What could I remember happening? What was his reaction when he saw me? What did he do after he saw me? Those things. So then I had to write an incident report of what happened so that they could formally investigate my claim. I wrote the report of what happened, and then I made 2 copies of the report. I was so smart. Hey, I was a smart girl. I made 2 copies of the report, so I gave 1 copy to Ms. Tienkam, and then the other copy I gave to my mom's friend who used to be a school teacher, and she knows like how the school system works and everything. So her and my mom went to the hostel principal's office or whatever, and they had a meeting with the man, and they were talking to him, and they were like, yeah, as a recourse, we don't want the man to be fired because he has a family and he has kids and he's probably the only breadwinner, blah, blah, blah. But we don't want him to be anywhere near the girls' hostels anymore. And what this hostel matron and the hostel principal did, they went to go gossip with all the other teachers about the story. So all the teachers and the cleaners and everyone were talking about me, but they didn't know it was me. At least that part, the people had common sense not to tell. But they were all talking about me. Like, I would go into the shower cubicle and I'm hearing the cleaners talking about, yeah, I wonder who the girl was that Tate Alphonse is the man's name. I wonder who Tate Alphonse was looking at. Like, why, like, you know, they were all talking about how much of a creep this man is, and they were all talking about like how sorry they felt for this girl and how they feel like it's so sad that he's still working there. And this man, his behavior never changed after that. He didn't come to the girls like hostel anymore, but he would still like be inappropriate to the girls, make inappropriate jokes, try to touch them inappropriately, all those things. Until years later, I heard he did the same thing and then he eventually got fired. So the Namibian society is very numb to things like this. And another thing that was also talked about was the solidarity amongst women. Like every time, it's not only in the Namibian society, everywhere in the world, every time someone comes out and says someone did something, like someone assaulted me, the first question is always like, why didn't you say anything? Why did you wait so long? Why are you only talking now? It seems like you have an agenda against this person. There's no proof. This person should first be acquitted in court, things like that. But you guys don't understand that the Namibian court system, when it comes to sexual assault, it's not the most efficient. Like if you get assaulted today, it's like it will take even 10 years maybe until your case is completely handled or like solved or whatever. I know someone who personally was also raped by someone. They made a case against this person. The assailant went and filed a case of character defamation against this person that I know. So for me, if the other person also has more like resources and is like more financially stable than you as a victim, you also have to consider that, you know, like for me, for example, in my examples, right, the other person was an adult, I was still a minor, and my family, my parents obviously had tried to intervene, but like the person still continued to do those things, you know, and I was a child. What was I gonna do to like defend myself? And the only way I was going to be able to defend myself, like in my own capacity, was to reveal that I was the victim of this. And I didn't want to be, like, I don't want to reveal, because then everyone every day was going to be asking me, what happened? So what happened? So what happened? And I didn't want that. Okay? Number two, even if someone goes to court, they can be found not guilty because of lack of evidence, right? So a lot of times with these assault cases or rape cases, it's like, what you said and what he said of what happened, right? And with these things, Chela was not doing any camera, or in the car, or wherever it was that this thing happened. It was just the two of you. So it's only the two of you, like your statement, that can reveal the truth of what happened on that day. And this is usually accompanied by evidence, okay? So in this case, we're talking about a rape kit. We are talking about maybe text messages you have when you were talking to this guy after what happened, or even evidence that you probably told like your friends you don't like him, things like this, right? All those things now come into play to verify whose story is the true story. And most of the time, even our DNA system, babes, even if you do a rape kit, for them to verify that this DNA is the person's DNA, they have to send it to South Africa first. Then it must come back from South Africa. And we all know that there's a backlog there in South Africa. So it's going to take forever for like even the DNA part and for the science to be proved that this person is the person that is accused of doing something to you. And this is exactly how it happened. Okay? All right. And if this person is from an affluent family, you know also there's corruption and stuff in Namibia. Like if this person's father is who and they just go and tell the police to make the case disappear and they make it disappear, then is Eccles. Like it's not as easy as just saying like, okay, let's go to court and resolve the matter there. Most of the time, it doesn't get resolved. And this person will be found not guilty. And they will go and say, I'm innocent because the court found me not guilty. But the whole time, that person did the thing. That person did the thing. That person is guilty. So even as a woman, like, I would never. If a woman tells me that something happened to her, I'm going to believe her until I'm proved wrong. Because the whole reason why women never come out is because nobody believes them. Like, a lot of time, people don't believe me when I'm saying stuff. I'm telling you. I'll be going out and I'll be telling someone like, oh, this guy is so creepy, he said this to me. People will just laugh it off. Like, people don't believe the victim, first of all. So even you as a woman, like, there were some people who were saying, you know, I'm not going to go to this event. I'm going to sell my ticket. I'm, like, not going to support them anymore because they handled the situation poorly. And if this, like, whole Twitter situation, or X as it's called now, if this whole situation didn't happen, Amos, they wasn't going to do anything about it. That's the truth, though, at the end of the day. At the end of the day, the people don't really care about us. They just care about the money that's going to come from us being their stuff. And you guys as women, you are supposed to stand together. Like, you know that there are all these forces against us. And even as a woman, if something happens to you, it's always your fault. What were you doing there? Why did you go? If you knew you didn't like the guy, why did you take his money or whatever it is, right? They always find a reason to blame you as a victim of this horrid act. So if another woman doesn't believe you, even though she's suffering the consequences of the same system, you know what I'm saying? And even if it comes out to be a lie, the man is still going to live a normal life. The woman, however, not. You know what I mean? Like, let's say this guy is found guilty. The woman is not going to live a normal life after that. This story is always going to follow her around, all those things. Men go to jail for unaliving people, for raping people, all those things. They come out, they live normal lives. They get married, they have new kids, they do everything because why? Society forgives them. Do you think society forgives women? You immediately become like a spoiled goods. You become like some fragile thing that people need to be scared of because seriously girlfriend. Do you get where I'm going? Exactly. So I feel like go to nightlife things at your own risk. It's just not. I'm personally tired of this. Like this behavior, this mentality, this vibe, this toxicity around these issues. Because even if you guys remember long time ago, there were rappers also being exposed for doing these things. Even once the other guy, Kuda, was also alleged to have done something to people. A lot of people had come out. People even went to seek legal support or advice, whatever, against him. A lot of men have continuously come out and been accused of doing stuff like this. Those people, nothing happens to them, right? Even though people know all these things about them, nothing happens to them. They go on, they live normal lives. Most of the time, by the time this person gets convicted in jail, they got married, they had kids. Like, that's how long it takes for these things to be solved. So it's almost as if the society is waiting for someone to, like, for that to happen to someone that they know. Like, they're waiting for it to happen to their sister, to their brother, or their mother, father, before they start to stand up against grape and like SGBV. For Sanjay, like, even when we had the Shut It Down movement, people were commenting on my story like, yeah, what about the women who falsely accuse men? What about the women who falsely accuse men? Go make a separate protest for that, Mos. Why don't you go protest for your brothers in the street? Why are you protesting on my story? Go protest, Mos, for your brothers that have fallen victim to this act. Yes, it's wrong to falsely accuse someone of doing something to you. But also, you guys have to really consider like the climate that we are living in the country, or in the world generally. Like, it is not safe for us as women. It's not safe for us, especially against the other gender. We are under duress, under serious attack as a gender. Okay, we have too many forces against us not to be believing each other and constantly trying to be a pick-me and trying to be like, oh, but I have to consider both facts though. I have to consider both sides of the story. Like, why didn't the guy come out and tell his side of the story yet? I mean, once I know all the facts, then I can decide. See, if it happens to you, you want people to consider all the facts? No, and God forbid something happens like that to you, because people react to those things differently. It's just like someone passing on. Some people, they can't get over the death. Other people, they pretend like it never happened. Other people, they only revisit it on the day that it happens. Everyone reacts differently, and you can't tell people how to react to something like that. And a lot of you also, this has happened to you. You are just denying it because you don't understand the real difference between consensual and rape. You don't understand that it's such a fragile line. Like, it's very easy for someone to cross over into something that is done against your will. I don't know what's gonna happen, and I don't know if you guys, like, personally, I didn't go to their events, so you guys must decide what you want for yourselves, because we can't wait until it's one of our own before we want to act on it. We can't wait until it's us ourselves before we want to protest, before we want to act against it. And I feel like it's very poorly reflected in the society, the way that we react and the way that we respond to situations like this. We are so fixated on proving who's right, who's wrong, what the truth is, instead of understanding that something like that shouldn't happen at all. And even men have the same attitude. Like, men will say, you know, but he did that thing, but it's his life, he's my friend, but I'm not that kind of guy. My friend beats his girlfriend, but that's not me. I don't beat my girlfriend. My friend is a cheater, but that's not me. I don't cheat. It says a lot about your brand as a person if you surround yourself with people that are doing stuff like that. Because also the society, there's no consequences for these people. There's no societal consequences. These people just do what they want to do. They get away with it for years because there are no consequences for this behavior. Like, society doesn't treat these people differently unless it comes to children. Then Kama society wants to get angry. But when it's adult women, that guy will go and he will chop life, he will get married, he will do everything, but he is accused of doing this thing. Or he did it many years ago, or he did it to multiple people and he got acquitted because there was no evidence. So now he's kuma innocent. And even the stupid mumu that will date this guy, she will be telling you, yeah, but they couldn't find any evidence, so he is innocent until proven guilty. Hi, Sana. Comment your thoughts down below so that we can continue this conversation, because now I'm tired of this. Wumandla. Till when, Senzenina guys, till when are we gonna suffer at the hands of this? Yeah. Play Felak ways and pass you up. See you in the next video. Ciao.